Hello and welcome to another video from Armoury Antiques and Militaria and our YouTube channel. Welcome to the channel. So we've got a variety of items here for you today that just came into the shop recently, and we thought we'd share them with you because they're quite interesting in themselves really. We'll start off with this little China character jug, which is quite fun. It's of Winston Churchill, so Winston Churchill here with his characteristic cigar, and it's got a nice newspaper cutting, if you like, for the handle of the jug, and it says today is V-Day, Victory Day, and really nice little object there in perfect condition. And it's Royal Dalton. It says Winston Churchill, and the signature of the person that obviously modelled, sort of sculpted it, and it's dated 1991 Royal Dalton. So we really like that. No damage on that, but we get a lot of people that collect character jugs with Winston Churchill and other characters too. That's quite nice. Pop him to one side. What else have we got? This is really cute. This came in. Love this. We have a lot of Polish collectors for items from World War II, and this is a Polish World War II pilot's lighter. The lighter is really lovely, and it would no doubt be brought back to working condition. We've got the Polish, if you like, a button from a Polish tunic here that's been put into the lighter, this brass lighter, as you can see, quite nice and thick. And on the other side, we've got the King's Crown and the RAF symbol. So we know it's a pilot's one from World War II, and Polish pilot at that. Really lovely little object, that. When I saw it and I found it, actually, I had to have it. What a unique little object, and something really special for the collectors of any sort of smoking memorabilia, or indeed World War II memorabilia about the RAF with the King's Crown, or indeed the Polish Air Force that served us and Europe so well during World War II. And of course, we've got a lot of Polish collectors. You may have seen a video recently we did about some Polish items that came in. Polish stuff's always popular, as is the Czech items as well, because it's such a fascinating story from World War II. That's that little object. Got a nice little Vesta case holder here. German, World War I. You've got the pickle orb on the front here with the iconography on the front of the helmet. Nice little cutouts on each corner. This is brass, made of brass. And if we turn it around, you'll see where the cigarette box would slot in to this recess here. And then on the back, we've got a plain background with the 4 cutouts here. And then on the spine, if you like, we've got some writing. What does that say? It says Souvenir of France. That's really nicely done with the scroll work. And it's quite nice with the rope work at the bottom as well. So a nice little Vesta case there. And I'll bring you back and do the next item. Okay, so welcome back. So that's the Vesta case and the little lighter, the Polish lighter, and the Winston Churchill character jug. And we've also got a nice Polish Army cap badge here, nice original one. A lot of fakes of these around, so be careful. This is a nice original example that's just come in. And in addition to that, something quite nice. We had a Gukri arrive. We've sold so many Gukris recently. We had quite a lot in the shop, but they've really taken off. And we've got a beautiful example here, which is quite considerable size. Now, it's only got a little bit of staining. It's a huge example, and beautiful condition grip, as you can see, with some notches cut out of the top end. Now, there are various stories that people can equate to these notches, but as we all know, when we see on Japanese bayonets and German bayonets from World War I, it's quite macabre, but sometimes they will carve notches into the handle like this to signify victims or people that they've killed. Pretty macabre, pretty gross, but that's what that probably means, because they're too uniform to be just accidental. We've got a little bit missing from the grip on the other side. Let's have a look just here, but that's all right. We can live with that. It shows that the item's been used. And we've got an armourer's mark here. I'll hold it still for you. Can you see that, guys? We'll do some research and let you know what that is. But it's a nice armourer's mark. It's a nice early Gukri, extreme size. Let me show you or measure it for you so you get an idea of the size. So we'll start off in inches. So overall length of this particular example is 19 inches. Centimetres, we're talking about 49, 50 centimetres. Blade wise, we're talking overall 14 and a bit inches. And in centimetres, we're talking about 36 centimetres. So quite a good size Gukri. If you don't like the way I say it, well, that's tough. I've been to Nepal many times. I've worked with the Gurkhas. I've been with the Gurkhas throughout my life, and that's how I've always said it. I've never been corrected. So if you don't like the way I say it, well, that's just life. I've spent a lot of time in Bhutan and also Nepal, back to Pur, all in Nepal, and also in this country with Gurkhas as well. Great people, great soldiers, very loyal, and I have a lot of time for the Gurkhas, as I'm sure you do too. Now, quite often with these old kukris, you'll find that they have very different forms and shapes to the cutout here, and we can go through that another time. There's lots of theories about that, and you can keep the theories that you have to yourself, but there are lots of theories about that particular feature on kukris. Now, a lot of the kukris that we get, you know, they do have scabbards, but a lot of the time, because they're made of wood and then shrunken leather over the top, quite often they're missing, they've fallen to pieces, they deteriorate or been eaten by bugs, depending on where they've been stored. So a nice kukri here in the shop. And another thing, just before I finish, you'll see these openings in the blade in certain places here. And if you see me touch the blade, don't worry, I'm going to clean it later on. And there's a reason for that, these openings, because they're laminated. And if you look here, it's not the same as a Japanese sword, but there's a similar way that these are made. And some of them are made very much in a kabuse, that's a Japanese term, kabuse style, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so what I was saying was kabuse, and the reason why I keep on breaking the videos, as you probably see, is because we're in the shop. People keep coming in, people keep buying things, and that's the nature of it. So that's why we break the videos up sometimes, because we have lots of visitors in the shop and it's been very busy today. So kabuse method basically means you have a U-shaped piece of really hard steel. So imagine a U-shaped piece of steel, and then they slot a softer piece of steel into the core and then hammer it together and it laminates. And sometimes what you get is delaminations, which you find in Japanese swords, but you also find them in kukris of good quality. So it's a very interesting way they're made. Some people just think that, like the tourist ones you get in Nepal, they are cheaply made and they're not very nicely made, and they're mass produced. But old ones like this are traditionally made, you know, hand forged and in a kabuse sort of style method. So very interesting, the Nepalese kukris, especially the early ones. Well, look, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these objects. We've got the obviously the Churchill commemorative sort of character jug, which I think is great. We've got this World War II lighter, for a Polish Air Force or pilot individual, which I think is a really lovely little object. We've got the World War I Vesta German brass case, which is lovely for a matchbox. We've got World War II Czech Army cap badge, a nice genuine one there, and we've got a nice early kukri. If you want to push me on the kukri and you want to say to me when was it made, I would have to say to you that this kukri is absolutely from it's antique or World War I period. But if you've got any comments, put them down below. We're always happy to get comments, any sort of things you'd like to add to the knowledge around the items that we featured today. We hope you've enjoyed the video, and we look forward to doing another video for you very soon. But in the meantime, yes, you watching this video, subscribe, tell people about our videos and get it out there to the masses. But in the meantime, stay safe, look after yourselves, and look out for our next video, which will be out either today or tomorrow. Thank you for watching.